Podcast from the coast.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
This 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
Welcome, everybody, to episode 27 of They Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles, and I have with me, as always, Tim, the Noxious Offender Johnson.
All right.
It's good. It goes with tonight's episode really well. How much thought did you put into that? Like, did you literally just come up with that now?
No, I came up with it yesterday.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's
That
even
sounds like
worse.
I'm waiting for these guys to show up. Where the hell are they? Noxious Offender. Okay, we'll go with that tonight.
You know what?
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it's good though. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's just keep going.
Jeez, Tim, you're starting to sound like an annoyed girlfriend. No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
It's
we're good.
okay.
It's okay.
It's never okay.
Are you sure, Tim?
Remember that, guys. It's
we'll
never
talk about-
okay.
We'll talk about this later.
We'll talk about this
Yeah.
when the boys aren't around.
No, really, I'm okay.
Oh man, how you doing, Tim?
I'm fine.
All right, keep it up, you. Keep it up.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Busy doing what Tim does. Photos and editing and movies and video games and coffee and...
Coffee. Excellent. Yeah, so you've been keeping busy. Got lots of stuff coming down the pipe from the Misunderstood Art Company.
Yeah,
and Misunderstood Photography.
Yeah. I got... I'm working on some cool stuff. Just released today a very cool picture that I was able to do with a good friend of mine, Fox Lidstone, who does like a spot-on Han Solo.
Yeah, he does.
But the thing that I really dig about his Han Solo is he just doesn't focus on one area. Like, he's done A New Hope Han Solo, Empire Strikes Back, and, this photo shoot that we recently did was for Old Man Han Solo from Force Awakens, which was a lot of fun. Playing with that, because I haven't really done a lot of Force Awakens stuff aside from the shoot I did with my kid as Kylo. Mm-hmm. But I got to hang out with Han Solo all day, and that's what it feels like. It feels like there's points where I'm literally, I don't call him Fox, I call him Han, and I'm like, whoa, but he is so gracious with it that he'll respond, right?
Nice.
So.
Nice. Please tell me you at least brought your son along to dress as Kylo Ren, and you did one photo of your son, doing him in.
Oh.
No. Okay. Too soon.
Hindsight's 2020. I didn't even think of doing that.
Would have been cool though. But okay.
It would have been cool. But no, I didn't do that. That would have been awesome though, and I'm angry now that didn't happen. So
Thanks, Adam.
Tim is angry now. Thank you.
Thank you. But excuse me. Besides that, like I said, I've just been watching a lot of movies. I started watching Black Mirror because everybody has been telling me, and wow.
Yeah.
This movie is the show is like, wow. I just finished episode 3 of the first season. So now, because they do really short seasons, I'm on season 2, episode 1, or episode 4, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm totally digging it. They need more shows like this that
Yeah.
fuck with your mind.
That they do. That they
Yeah.
do. I was actually impressed with what they did with the third season. I haven't even finished it yet, but what I've seen of it is really good, because I thought that by the time that it kind of became quote-unquote Americanized and in the hands of Netflix, that it might have changed substantially, but in actuality it really didn't. It still had the same flair and the same feeling to it, which was good.
Well, I just like that it feels literally like you're watching a mini movie. Like the show, whether it has a big budget or not, it feels like it does. You know, and it's not all in your face with what they can do. Like the 3 episodes that I watched, there was special effects in it, but it was to a minimum. I don't know. I'm digging it. I'm totally digging it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, we'll move down the table for a minute here. I'm going to talk to the other guy on the other end of the table here. Around the virtual table, we have Dave Miles. That guy.
Me?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Not much. Not much. Been playing a lot of Friday the 13th lately.
Yeah.
Actually had some time to actually get into the game and start playing it. So,
What level are you?
Let's not talk about that. I'm still at a very low level right now.
That's adorable.
Adorable.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not that high up, but still.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've been pretty busy the last few weeks, and with all the problems that Friday the 13th, the game has had, and it just seemed like every time I turned around, the guys have been really good about it, like the developers have been really good about communicating the patches, all the fixes, the updates that they are doing for the various platforms, but as anyone can agree with, the Xbox platform has probably been the most problematic of the 3, Steam, PS4, and Xbox. Yeah. And of course, I opted to get the Xbox version because of Xbox Live and the better value with Xbox Live, but it just seems like, and the guys have been really good about patching and communicating, but certainly the Xbox version has had its fair share of problems, more so than the PS4 version, but it's to the point now where it's very playable. I know they've got some more fixes inbound coming across all the platforms that should stabilize it pretty good. But really, the other night, I sat down for like 3 hours the other night and just played the shit out of it. And it is awesome. Like, it's totally awesome. I love it. And yeah, I can't wait to set aside some more time and just lose myself in that game because it's too cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely hats off to Gun Media and Ilphonic for what they've pulled off with the game so far.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to the haters, guys. I mean, you're doing what you can with this, and we're just stoked and excited with this.
But
so
that's
keep
not
up,
even
guys.
the problem now. That's not even the problem with the community now. Now it's these people that get on and they're exploiting these glitches and ruining the fucking game. I don't know how many times I've played with these people that are like, you know, hiding on the roof, or, you know, in the Packanack Lodge, the up in the rafters and stuff. Like, it's, and then like,
I know. Well, what's the point of even playing? You're gonna crawl up onto the roof and you're just gonna sit there. What's the point of even playing?
Exactly, and it's frustrating, but the developers know, and they're trying to fix it. And they said if anybody gets caught glitching, they're going to ban them and all this kind of stuff. Which I don't know if they could do that, but whatever. I'm just glad to know at some point in time I'll be able to play the game that I want, like the
how it was intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes you get in a group of like really good people, and it's a blast. So
yeah.
I've had that too. I've hit some lobbies. I go into the on Xbox One. I go into the group sessions, and just kind of make myself available in some of the groups that are there. And all of a sudden, I just start getting the invites for the private matches, which I'm finding still, even though the quick matches are available, the private matches are more fun because it's most of the time people that are just opting to have a good time playing rather than the random people that are out there. And I get into a lobby, and I've spent 2 to 3 hours with the same people. You know what I mean? Even if everything glitches out and we get kicked back to the menu, I start getting invites from the same people going, "Hey man, come on back. We were having a good time. Let's do this." And it's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I like the lobbies that you get in where like I like when you're scared of being like caught by Jason. Like and it's happened a couple times, right? But I don't know. I wish that there was more consistency. Like, but I mean that's the problem when you play online with the general public.
yeah, pretty much.
I do like some of the updates though, like the retro 8-bit Jason from the original NES game. Like that's kind of cool. I know it's just a skin for the Part 3 version, but it's
the
still
music.
cool though. Yeah, it's
well,
cool.
I mean, it is, but it gives me hope of what they'll release in the future. Like, I'm hoping that, they're going to expand the maps. I think it'd be really cool to do one that's on the ship, or maybe the alleyways in Manhattan, or like just maybe different areas. I'm also excited for the possibility of new skins. Obviously, they're going to do Part 10. Obviously, they're going to do Part 4 and Part 5. But like, there's a rumor that there's going to be like a straight up Kane Hodder skin.
Yeah,
where you're literally running through the woods as Kane Hodder killing people. Like, that sounds amazing, right? So
that is perfect. Yeah,
that's cool.
I thoroughly enjoy that too. So
Nice.
So that's what you've been doing, Dave, playing the game and
I did get a chance to check out a new movie. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see it yet. A Cure for Wellness.
Didn't see it yet. No.
No, it's on Netflix, is it not?
No, it actually just got released on like DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my Android box. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, it's not a straight up horror movie. It's more psychological, but it's very much a horror movie, if that makes sense. Like, it's not blood and gore and everything else, but it's
psychological thriller.
Adam's response to that with the look was the best.
Trying to figure out what the hell David's talking about.
It's psychological horror, but it definitely has an underlying Lovecraftian theme to it, which is what attracted me to it. It's good. It's got a really cool twist at the end, and I don't want to go into too much detail, spoilers. Just to say that if you're flipping through Netflix or your video collection and you're not quite sure what to watch, give this one a chance. It's a bit of a slow burn, but it's worth checking out. It was a pretty good movie. I liked it. I sat down one night. It runs about 2.5 hours, so it is a little long. But I enjoyed it. At the end, I walked away going, you know what? I didn't waste my time watching that movie, so which is always good.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's excellent, man. So, no, this week has been pretty good for sure. I mean, I know it's been a little while since we put out any content, and, apologize to that there, listeners. Sorry, but we've just had a lot of stuff on the go, unfortunately. So, we're going to start now with this episode, actually. You'll probably notice that the running time is going to be a little bit lower. What we've decided to do is we've decided to create smaller run times, but produce more content more often. So yes, Dave, smaller. So that's what we're going to end up doing. So a lot of our episodes from now on will probably be based around one movie or a retrospect of multiple movies, but not as in depth as we sometimes go. And but we're going to release content more often. So probably every week now you'll see a podcast from us. So it's just fresh content every week, which will be really handy to have on your iPhones and Android phones and anything else that you're listening to us on, by the way. So that'll be great.
More cast from the coast in your face.
More they cast from the coast in your face. Whoa, Dave!
Whoa, that was kind of intense there, bud.
That was getting heavy, man.
Where'd this
Dave come from?
He had some Pepsi before the show.
I did.
Yeah, that's what Pepsi does to you, folks. Drink Coke. That's better.
Boo!
Shut up.
You sit there with your Xbox One and your Coke.
Your Xbox One, your Coke. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Pretty much.
Oh man, crazy. My week has been pretty interesting. I actually started Going back and watching some other stuff that I've missed over the years, and in fact, due to the revisitation of what? What's so funny?
Just some stuff that I didn't know existed. Did you guys know there's a movie called Star Wars? Like that's what played out in my head. Like,
That's exactly what played out in your head.
Yeah.
No, just stuff that I've missed in the past. Due to the revisitation of Twin Peaks, I've gone back and started watching the original show. Interesting nonetheless. I haven't gotten too far into it, but it's caught me. Basically as a very awkward horror soap opera from the late 80s, early 90s, I want to say. It seems the opening, I just can't get past the opening, though. It's one of those things, man. I'm just going to go back to Binge and Purge for a second when we talked about Iron Fist, the opening. I just couldn't get the opening. Same with this one.
What about
the show's good, though.
I mean, what's wrong with the opening? I've only ever watched the first season of Twin Peaks, by the way. But the opening is the same in season 1 and 2. Let's talk about the opening, Adam. What bothers you?
All right, Dave. It just doesn't. All right, okay, I'm gonna get on the couch. I'm gonna, you're gonna charge me like $100 an hour for this, right? Psychological.
Talk to brother.
Talk to Dave. It doesn't fit. You got this really weird ass elevator nature type music and just random scenes of the logging community. And Twin Peaks, and it's the atypical early 90s, late 80s, very heavy fluorescent color title cards, and it's just weird. I just can't get past it. I don't know. It just does not suit. But then again, there's some really odd stuff in the show too that just kind of springs on you.
Maybe it does suit it because the show is odd.
It is quite odd.
It's odd on purpose.
It's got some very
from the mind of David Lynch.
It's got some very perky characters. I got to admit, Agent Cooper's my favorite character so far, though, because he's just weird, and it's very suiting that character. But
Yeah. I'm gonna have to finish up the second season so that I can start with the new season, Twin Peaks: The Return, as they call it.
But at this point, though, the other thing that I've spent my time with, I did get a chance, and I'm hoping you guys did too. I sat down and watched the first 3 episodes
of Black Mirror. Oh my God, I did that too.
Oh shit! Yes, Tim. Of Spike TV's The Mist.
No, I didn't. Do you know why?
Oh, why not?
I'm waiting. I want to binge.
Are you gonna binge it, Tim?
Yes.
And then you're gonna purge on it.
Yes. I saw the trailer and it blew my mind. Like, I stayed away from everything to do with The Mist because part of me, I didn't want them to make it. I didn't. I thought that the movie was fantastic.
Yep.
It was very, I thought it was pretty faithful to the short story or the novella, whatever you want to call it. But sure. I was like, how are they really going to stretch this out into a miniseries? So I was very much on the fence, and then recently I watched the trailer, and I'm like, oh my God, this looks amazing! So I'm really excited but I'm staying away because I know I won't be able to handle this week to week. I hate that shit.
Well, I don't know how they're gonna keep up with it, but the first 3 episodes were absolutely amazing, in my opinion. They really did just kind of put a lot out there in the first 3 episodes. There was a lot to take in.
There was a lot in the first episode. I've only watched the first, but I'm telling you, the first episode had more stuff than I've seen in like 3 or 4 episodes of other TV series. Like, it is jam-packed.
The question I have, does it feel like The Mist? Does it feel like Stephen King?
Yes. Actually, it quite does.
Yeah. Okay.
It quite does. Here's the thing, though, is that it doesn't take long for the mist to actually come in. Just like the movie and in the novel itself, right? Basically, it starts up, and it probably, for like an hour-long episode, it probably takes about 15 minutes before the mist has engulfed everything. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it is just, dealing with the shit that's happening.
Yeah. The only thing I find distracting with the show so far is the locales, because these locales, for the most part, are in my backyard.
Yeah, but you know what?
Literally around the corner from
literally
I'm pointing at the police station.
If you're not from Windsor, a little
Yeah.
little town looks like a little town. Like, I'm going to watch it, and I'm not going to...
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
sure, it's a generic little town.
Oh, and that's true.
Generic, small...
And it works. I'm telling you, it fits. It fits. It's really cool, but it's like, hey, I know that house, or I know, that's the community center, or whatever, right?
Hey, it doesn't take that long to drive that road. See the same.
That one scene, they kept going past it over and over again.
See the same sign go by 3 times while they're driving. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay. Only because we know the town and we know what sign it is and what edge of the sign we're looking at.
It's the little things like that, but you know what? It sort of takes away from it, but it adds to it as well, because it's like they filmed that in our town. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I've actually got pictures, and like I'm pointing right now at the police station because it's right there. And I've got pictures the night me and the wife had come home, and they had all the mist going out in front, and it was actually they were filming the scene where the mist rolls right in on them. And I was standing there with my camera, and I had the guy come up to me. I'm sorry, sir, you can't take pictures. And I'm like, oh, okay, and hide, click, 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 and taking random photos of the set. But no, it's good. It's good. I got hopes for the rest of the season, so we'll see where that goes.
Now, didn't they say that it was literally going to be kind of like a mini-series where it wasn't going to be something that goes on 5, 6 seasons? Like, they have a beginning and an end planned already.
They do, but they didn't announce how many seasons it was going to be. They are already talking about a second season. All right, even before this actually got released, they were already talking about a second season, because Stephen King himself was floored by what he saw so far. So it's good. But no, I was also, some of the crew members were also talking about it, saying that the plan was a little bit bigger, because they could deal with more locales this way. The way that they're actually spanning it out, they could actually deal with more locations. They could actually technically move the characters if they had to, in certain means.
Speaking of characters, are all the major characters in it so far?
No, it's like it's a different band of characters. Now there's similar characters, and there are characters that are working up to be the same archetype of characters that you had in the book.
But they're not the name of the characters from the book.
No,
they're not familiar names to me.
Boo! Not watching it. Boo!
I'm pretty sure I read an article several months ago, and it was along the lines of, this TV show, The Mist, exists in the same universe as the movie. It's just picture another town.
Boo!
Oh, Tim.
Whatever.
You'll love it anyway, Tim.
No, it's not the same, and I hate change.
Well,
I'm scared of it.
I'm scared. It scares me. Oh, man. Okay, well, tonight, everybody, we have a great episode that we're going to give to you guys. It's one of the final episodes of this month, and this month we are finishing up, as you probably already seen from the very opening of the episode and what you heard. This is the Toxic Avenger, continuing our TROMONTH on They Cast from the Coast. So we're going to take a quick break in a moment here, ladies and gentlemen, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the Lloyd Kaufman classic, The Toxic Avenger.
Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of the Toxic Avenger. You know, folks, when we're not making those great movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Return to Nukem I, a.k.a. Volume 2, the Troma team and I like to kick back and listen to They Cast from the Coast. They Cast from the Coast is really the best entertainment, the best education, and the best emotional liberation that Lloyd Kaufman can possibly experience. Thank you.
Meet little Melvin. He's a 90-pound weakling. Everyone hated Melvin.
I'm gonna take this mop and shove it down your throat.
They teased him.
I wanna do it with you. Okay.
They taunted him. They tormented him until he had a horrifying accident and fell into a vat of nuclear waste. transforming little Melvin into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger. The first superhero born out of nuclear waste. Yes, the muggers and the rapists didn't know what law and order was until the Toxic Avenger came to town.
Holy shit!
I don't know what it was, but it saved my life.
All right, everybody, drop your tacos or I'll blow your brains out.
The vandals and the perverts had their way with the little people of Tromaville until the Toxic Avenger ripped them apart. The Toxic Avenger. His face is so terrifying. We can't show it to you now. You'll have to see the movie for yourself. The Toxic Avenger can bend steel with his bare hands.
Oh, we're only kidding. Get it?
Leap small cars in a single bound. He crushes drug pushers. Smashes hit-and-run drivers. And gives all criminals their just desserts. The Toxic Avenger.
He was a hero.
He's a hero. He's a fighter. He's a lover.
Why, Melvin, you're beautiful.
The good citizens love him. The fat and corrupt hate him.
Kill that bastard for me. You gotta kill him.
Yeah.
Will he survive? For incredible explosive action, you must see the Toxic Avenger. He's a different kind of hero. The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out.
Welcome back, everybody, and tonight on episode 27 of They Cast from the Coast, we're going to continue our conversation. The topic of interest tonight, the movie of interest, continuing our TROMONTH, the ultimate classic 1984 Lloyd Kaufman flick, The Toxic Avenger. Yeah! This is the movie. If you're going to introduce people to Troma, this is one of the first movies you're obviously going to be teaching them about, telling them about, showing them. This is Troma in the prime. This is Troma Deluxe. I love this.
I wouldn't say in the prime. I would say this is the beginning of greatness.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. This is really where Troma started to shine and get people's
Troma
attention.
In its prime
is
like Poultrygeist. That's its prime. That's when it's like, you know what? This is a Troma movie, and this is what we do. But with Toxic Avenger, there still seems like threads of we can at least try to make some parts of this movie serious. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true.
Some of the actors are really trying to be like, we're in a movie, we should be serious, right?
It's like,
good point.
You know what I mean?
I have lines here. You know?
I have an audition for Law and Order next week. I gotta get this.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So, 1984 saw the release of Lloyd Kaufman's directed flick that takes place in Tromaville, the toxic waste capital of the world. And it has to do with an unlikely mop boy by the name of Melvin Junko and the bullies at a fitness club where he works. They take it upon himself to play a nasty, dirty prank in which he is found to be making out with a sheep, wearing a bikini, by the way, and lots of lipstick. Unnecessarily.
Such a nice touch.
Unnecessarily huge amount of lipstick, by the way. But I don't know how he didn't clue in. But okay, we'll continue on that. And in his hasty getaway, he decides to hurl himself out a window where there's conveniently parked a large truck with barrels of toxic waste from the local toxic waste facility, or the local chemical plants. And what happens? He burns up, catches fire, and transforms into the first superhero from New Jersey.
The Toxic Avenger!
Love it.
All right.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the big thing about this movie that a lot of people have to understand when they go and they watch this movie is that this movie was originally the script was originally a lot darker than this movie actually turned out to be. It was actually Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz's way of saying, we should do a horror movie. And it was originally intended to be a balls-to-the-wall horror movie. This monster character, which was an anti-hero that they had written, was literally going to be tearing people limb from limb and gutting people, and it was going to be rough and nasty. The birth of the Troma visual of green foamy liquids and, ripping people apart and blood and guts and shit everywhere, it really does stem from this. But they changed the tone slightly, and the movie became what is now one of the most classic late-night movies pretty much ever produced. Yeah. And,
Well, it's become a cult classic over the years, but it certainly wasn't a cult classic when it was first released. I mean, it didn't do that well when it was first released, but just repeated midnight showings, and Troma was great back in the early 80s when VCRs were still relatively new on the scene, because these guys, and we had mentioned this before in the previous podcast, these guys struck gold with the home video market. So these guys were pumping movies out left, right, and center because home video was still so new at the time. These guys were just pumping out material left, right, and center, and guys were renting anything and everything that was on the shelf. It didn't matter what it was.
Yep.
If there was a box on the shelf, it was getting rented. And just with so much exposure, that's how they got their name out in the early days. And that's what helped them gain popularity, was it was just so much Troma in your face, literally on the movie shelves.
Yep. And let's face it, by the time that people started being able to dub VHS and record off of late night TV and everything else properly, I mean, this movie became a staple in a lot of households. It sat on the shelf beside movies like Top Gun. You know what I mean? You'd look through people's movie collections and be like, Top Gun, Toxic Avenger. It was synonymous in a lot of people's houses, even though it was kind of a guilty pleasure for a lot of people too. A lot of people, that I've even talked to recently, saying, hey, Troma, and, we're doing an episode on Troma, or, a whole month on Troma episodes. And they'll be like, yeah, Troma. Yeah, I had the Toxic Avenger. Oh, yeah, what'd you think of the Toxic Avenger? I had the Toxic Avenger. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. You obviously owned it. You liked it enough that you owned it, but a lot of people just don't kind of, there are certain people that just don't kind of,
or what I find a lot...
Get it.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah. Or what I find a lot is people don't know necessarily Troma, the name, but you tell them the Toxic Avenger. Oh, yeah, I know the Toxic Avenger. Mm-hmm. They don't know Troma, but they know the Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High. They recognize those names or those movies, but sometimes they can't associate it to the name Troma. They just don't know what Troma is, but they know the movies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this movie has at least one Troma favorite of mine in it, Robert Pritchard. Robert Pritchard played Slug in this movie, and he was one of the two main villains. It was Slug and Bozo. And Robert Pritchard was also in another Troma flick, which was one of our favorites, which we've already talked about as well, and he played Spike from Class of Nukem High.
Nukem High, yeah.
And he does just as good in this movie. Whenever I see this guy, and because he's very recognizable, and I see him on camera, and I say, yes, now I remember, yes, this is great. And he does a fantastic job. The difference in the characters in this movie is phenomenal. I love the Bozo character because he gets so stressed out, and everything is, you're stressing me out. And all of a sudden he's got to do reps, and he's got to do weight lifts, and I mean he's at the gym, right? And somebody tells him he's looking fat, and he's like, where? And he's like, lifting up his shirt and trying to find it, and then he does like another 100 reps because no, that's not cool. But then we find out the dirty, dark secrets. Even though they've kind of sent Melvin to what they thought was his death, he survives, and he comes back for revenge on them. But we find out the dirty, dark secret of Bozo and Slug and their girlfriends, that they are infamous hit-and-run serial killers in the town. They are running people over with a wonderful car. And basically, this is, in my opinion, this was the first time I had ever seen this, and it's become kind of like a staple in culture at this point, the point system for hitting people with a car. Right? There's the whole joke, hey, how many for the person on the sidewalk?
50 points!
50 points! An extra 10 if they roll over the hood. That's where this had, this is the first time, period in time, when I can say that I actually seen or heard of this being talked about, even as a joke, but in the movie they were deadly serious. And it became gruesomely funny because they were doing two things. One, killing the people, and two, documenting it. And taking pictures and keeping the Polaroids for themselves. And in atypical Troma form, not only are they just, okay, they killed somebody and took a picture of it, they're basically bantering about the quality of the photos. If anything, the banter in this movie almost reminds me, or almost tells me, this is where, Rob Zombie and some of these guys get their absolute love of continuous talk and dialogue from. Because that's what these guys do. They talk and talk and talk. And it's great dialogue in this movie, and it's really kind of fun. It is kind of sad in a lot of cases because you're laughing about the fact that they just ran over a kid. But it just, in the manner in which it occurs.
You laughed at that?
Yeah. I totally did. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person, aren't I? I'm bad. Tith, Adam. Tith. Don't be like that. Oh, man.
Dave doesn't look like he was impressed by that at all.
Shut up, Dave. Nobody asked you. And also, the one thing that really became big in this movie was that this was another movie that introduced a very typical Troma theme, which had to do with out of whack or very, very intriguingly different character types when it comes to the villains. In this movie, we were introduced to Cigar Face and a whole bunch of other characters, and they've always got makeup of some kind on, and they're very elaborately dressed or partially undressed in a lot of cases, tank tops and belly tops and everything else, and they're always just over the top archetypes. They were just they're screaming and laughing, and everything's a joke to these people.
Well, I mean, it just goes to, you immediately know that they're the villain by what they look like, right?
And how they act.
I mean, yeah, and it saves so much time, you just get to the movie. There's no exposition needed, this guy's obviously the villain.
He just walked in with a shotgun and half a painted face. Yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah, that's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. Oh, Toxie's going to kill him, isn't he? Oh, man. Now, and another thing that was very interesting that I liked about this movie was the fact that it was also not extremely in your face when it came to Toxie, the Toxic Avenger. For all intents and purposes, this movie might have introduced us to Toxie, but he didn't introduce us to Toxie in the same manner in which we know him now.
Yeah, it's not... very good point. I didn't find that this was... It was almost like they took the approach and they still had that lingering, basis of doing it as a horror movie, because I found that Toxie was treated like a typical horror monster.
Yeah.
Where he would just show up and do the thing and then he's gone, right? And
you didn't really see his face too often or much of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, good. Look at you.
Yeah, that's right. But and it was great because he didn't really talk much either, and it was just growls and away he goes. But I liked it because it really added to the character for what it was. We had a Frankenstein type of character. It mumbled, it roared, it growled, and it killed people. We just know that he was human and he's out for revenge now. Later on in the movie, we get introduced to a more, what we would commonly now know as Toxie type of Toxie character, where we find out a little bit more about him, and he becomes closer with his girlfriend. Interesting character. So his girlfriend, wow. What do we want to say about his girlfriend? Blind, obviously doesn't know exactly what he looks like, but he's got this extremely handsome voice, and and it's, hey, he's got this extremely handsome voice, and he's buff. The guy who played Toxie was a big guy, and he was built. And she's just like, oh, and she's touching his pecs, and it's all good. And not once does she really touch his weird
face,
eye and face or anything else. But it's the pecs and the voice. That's all that matters to this chick, apparently. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. The movie itself. All in all, I always recommend this movie. It's one of those movies. You gotta tell people to go see this movie. It deals with your atypical themes. You have your corrupted officials and police and mayor and people who are just doing wrong. Shady people on the wrong side of the law. And the Toxic Avenger is out to clean up. Period. Dave, you look like you have something to add to this. He's holding back.
Let loose, Dave. Let
loose, man.
I grew up watching the Toxic Avenger. I mean, it was just one of those movies that was, like so many other movies, was on all the time. At some point in time, that was being played along with Halloween, along with Friday the 13th. Like, it was part of the collection that received multiple viewings. Certainly there has been a period of time, an extended period of time where I've gone without watching the movie. But I revisited, obviously, recently for this podcast after having not seen it for probably the better part of a decade. And I guess my views have changed slightly over the years with this movie. It's still the Toxic Avenger. It's still very much Troma. I guess after having not watched it for, like I said, probably a decade or more, rewatching it recently, I had forgotten how violent it really was. I mean, it's a very violent movie. And I know that's the intention. It's uncut, it's Troma, it's independent, they're going to throw everything at you. But I'm watching it going, I don't remember it being this violent. Mm-hmm. And I guess it kind of harkens back to what you're saying, Adam, about, it originally being scripted as a horror movie. And I guess I never picked up on it when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It was the first superhero from New Jersey. You know what I mean? It was the Toxic Avenger. And as a kid watching it, he was a superhero type character because that's how he was hyped. But what's scary is watching it as an adult. I don't know if I'd let my kids watch it just yet. You know what I mean? Just because of some of the stuff in it, some of the content, like when they run over the kid on the bike and then they back over him. It's like, that's nasty.
Oh, that's nasty. But I think on top of that, how about the fact that one of the ladies is masturbating to pictures of it?
There's so much in this movie that's so wrong, and I guess I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did I get away with watching this as a kid? Obviously, Mom and Dad weren't watching too close.
Go enjoy your movie.
Go watch it. Yeah,
it's a superhero
Go in your room
movie.
and watch Toxic Avenger. Good boy.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not shitting on the movie by any means. It's just, I guess, as a parent myself now, and having gone so long, in seeing this movie, and I guess coming back to it with, for the most part, a fresh set of eyes, I just, wow. You know what I mean? It's a much different movie today than what I remember as a kid. And I guess that could be said with a lot of movies. You know what I mean? There's a lot of movies that I've watched as a kid and certainly revisited over the years and go, I don't remember it being that corny. Or, you know what I mean? And Toxic Avenger definitely falls within that category. It's I don't remember it being like that as a kid. There's nothing really wrong with that. It's just I get a very different impression of the movie recently compared to what I remember. So, yeah.
No, I agree.
Tim, but I still love the book. All you need to know about filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic Avenger.
I recognize that book.
Oh, that's my book right here.
Yeah, that's your book. Oh, look at that.
This is like the Bible. This is the Bible.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tim, what do you got to add to this?
Read. I remember seeing this as a kid, but I don't remember it. I watched it a couple years ago, what I felt was for the first time, but then I remember scenes and I was like, I think I saw this as a kid. I also remember the Toxic Avenger cartoon.
Yes.
Toxic Crusaders.
Toxic Crusaders.
Yeah, Toxic Crusaders.
Yeah.
Which I remember I had action figures and stuff. It was awesome. But like Dave, watching it recently, I did in fact watch this with my kid. So thanks, Dave, for making me feel like a bad parent there. But aside from that, I like this movie for sentimental reasons. I like this movie because it was the first, in my opinion, the first real Troma movie. They got a lot of the gags or ideas for the gags from this movie that transcended and carried on to other Troma movies. It's the first movie that kind of had that wacky tone to it. But is it my favorite out of all the Toxie movies? No, it's not. My favorite's number 4. I really like Citizen Toxie.
We should do an episode on that.
Maybe we should. But yeah, so it's not the best Troma movie in my opinion, but it's definitely classic and definitely deserves respect and for people to see it. But like I said, out of all the ones, like if you were to say, hey, let's watch a Troma movie, what do you want to watch? Class of Nukem High, Surf Nazis Must Die, Citizen Toxie, not Toxic Avenger. You know what I mean? Like, you have to see it if you're a Troma fan. Absolutely. It started with this movie, but I felt as a company, as a group of filmmakers, they just got better after this movie.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
agreed.
All the movies are good because it started with this, and they wouldn't be what they were without this. But this is not my favorite piece of work that they've done.
Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that, Tim. That's good points on that.
But why do I feel that there's a but there? Like, but.
No, there's no but. You're entitled to your opinion.
Tim.
No.
Oh, I'm entitled to my opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion, Tim.
Like Dave said, I adore this movie. It's good. It's good. There's nothing. This is not a bad Troma movie. It's just not my favorite.
No, that's true. But that being said,
that's fair.
That's fair. That being said, it is time for a little bit of trivia about this movie. What do you say?
Trivia time! Can I say the first one?
Go for it.
Okay, so Dave just mentioned a scene of backing out with the little girl and the head crushing and all that, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that head crushing scene was based on a time when Lloyd Kaufman actually was backing in a car out of the garage and accidentally hit his younger sister? Now, he didn't actually crush her head. She wasn't harmed, right? But this memory is haunted for years. And thus, he put his version of that into this movie.
Interestingly enough as well, one of the most interesting pieces of trivia that I found about this movie was that of all this... That was extremely interesting. That was
deep-seated in memory pain. And
poor Lloyd.
Go ahead.
Out of everything that's in this movie, the thing that they received the most complaints about was when they killed the guide dog. They got hate mail and death threats for killing the guide dog in the movie. Who gives a shit that they ripped a kid in half or split a kid's head and put a weightlifting machine through a guy's face. No, you killed it. You shot a dog.
And guess what? The dog. It's just a movie. The dog didn't really die.
The dog didn't really. Neither did the guy with the thing in his face. It's just what it is, right? So, but no, that's what they got the most hate mail for, and that was extremely funny. But on top of that, in the scene with the guide dog, one of the actors, Patrick Kilpatrick or something like that, interesting name as it is. He played the gunman with the half painted face that I was mentioning earlier. He actually quit the day after they filmed. He wouldn't film the rest of the movie. He was supposed to be another extra or help out behind the scenes too. He actually quit because they changed the script to make him point the shotgun at a baby.
Wow.
They asked him to point the shotgun at the baby. I mean, there was no bullets in it, but it was so traumatizing to him that he had to point the shotgun at the baby for the scene that he quit as soon as he was done filming.
Okay.
Like, frig this.
I got one.
Okay.
Okay, do you remember Bozo?
Yeah. You're stressing me out, man!
Yeah. That was originally supposed to play. During pre-production, it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
No way.
No way.
Yeah. Awesome. He was set to play the role of Bozo, and prior to filming, D'Onofrio asked for a slight raise, and he was literally fired. Yeah. Fired from the movie and replaced. Troma is savage.
They are savage, man. They are savage.
But yeah, so I mean, just picture how awesome that would have been if Bozo was played by, Vincent D'Onofrio, who I'm a big fan of.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio. It's great.
Yeah.
The sheep that Mr. Junko Melvin was kissing with. They didn't tell him because they wanted the scene to go ahead, but it was infested with lice.
Whoa! No. Oh.
Yeah. The sheep was infested with lice. It was the only one that they could get at the time, and they didn't tell him until after the scene was shot. And he must have hot showered for days. Like, what the shit, man? That's wrong. You're not gonna tell the guy. And he was like
savage. I'm telling you,
Troma is savage.
Okay, so you know how they did the there was a lot of like the cut of the spinning newspapers.
Yep.
How they achieved that was the simplest way possible. They basically put it on a spinning cheese rack and just filmed it.
Like a Lazy Susan type of thing.
Yeah. Which, hey, I might use that because that's 10 times easier than going into like
Adobe
After
Premiere,
Effects, making it spin and stuff. Just film it and.
Oh man! Well, actually, one of the other funniest things that happened was when they were actually filming some of the scenes in the alleyways. I think it was the scene with Cigar Face in them. They were filming in some of the alleyways. There was a homeless man had actually broken into the prop trailer and stole a fake gun from them and started terrorizing the crew on set with the fake gun. Basically threatening them on set with this fake gun. They didn't know it was a fake gun, that he had stolen it from the prop trailer. They got him and he was arrested and stuff, and basically he told them they found it was a fake gun. It was one of theirs. So he stole a prop gun from them and terrorized them on set with it.
That's hilarious. Okay, so I got another one. Okay, so according to Dan Snow, the character name and gimmick for Cigar Face was actually thought up on the spot by Mr. Lloyd Kaufman while filming his scenes when Kaufman was spotted Snow lighting up a cigar on set. So basically, he's like, Cigar Face. That's your name, right?
Savage!
Just because the guy was having a cigar.
That's great. Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, and another little quick one. The Mexican restaurant that was literally called the Mexican Place?
Yes.
That's the real name of it.
Oh, no way.
That is the real name. You'd think, I always thought that was a joke, right?
Yeah, it's like the Troma movie named it,
Yeah. No, I kid you not. That's the real name of that place. The Mexican place.
Oh, crikey. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Well, lots of love for this movie. Lots of love for Troma. And we are going to have a couple of more things come out for the TROMONTH. But we're going to wrap up this episode tonight, gentlemen. Once again, keeping our running time kind of small. Just because. More content, more often. You know how it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, come back, check us out next time for episode number 28. And you'll see what that episode is when we actually record it and put it out. But until then, we have some more stuff coming out from the Misunderstood Art Company, and we have a couple of other reviews and some other stuff, and we got some great stuff lined up in the near future, include, hopefully, some more celebrity guests. We got a couple things potentially lined up. That's going to be great. So, until next time, I'm just going to say it. Have a good night, everybody. Tim?
Stay spooky, everybody!
Dave?
Good night.
Good night. Check you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in this week to They Cast from the Coast. We hope you enjoyed the topic and the discussion that we've had tonight. We're very excited about everything that's being produced right now in conjunction with the Misunderstood Art Company. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, say hi in the comments section, and just in general, check out the other content that's being offered, once again, under the Misunderstood Art Company. If you want to listen just to the audio portion of this show itself, we're making it available on iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn on top of the YouTube channel itself. So thank you very much again for your continued support. Check out the rest of the Misunderstood Art Company's offerings. Might even see some familiar faces. And until next time, take it easy.